Well, just wanted to show you a few changes, little changes again. But, as you can see, I've put these two lines now. Well, one's a siding really, but it also allows me to come from one track, from the inner to the outer one. But I've just relayed them so that now they're more or less running parallel and straight. Before, it used to go right at the side of that sign, and it was a bit of a tight curve there, so now I've given a smoother curve now. And as you can see, I've laid them on cork this time. I've always used the it's Woodland Scenics foam underlay I've used in the past. I have used cork occasionally, but it's off the sheet, and then you just cut strips. Unfortunately, mine's been curled up that long. It's been a bit of a beggar, and it's been breaking as I've been cutting it. But I managed. They're in strips, I know, but when you've got your ballast on there, it'll disguise it all. And I've used my favourite, of course, Copydex. I use the Copydex to stick down the cork, and also the track. You can use track pins. I know a lot of you prefer track pins. You say it makes it easy for lifting, but I find if you use a thin knife, get these under the track, and you can lift it even when you've used Copydex. But it seems to be all right now. I've just got one area now to join up, and that's of course onto this area here. I still have to work that out yet, but we'll figure it out in a bit. But I've got these points down. I've just run a test loco through, and everything runs smoothly. So next job will be to ballast and finish it all off. I may even try and put another tracking down in between there as another siding. But we'll see how they go. I'll just show you how this little pannier comes through the points okay. As you know, the small wheelbase ones are the hardest. Well, if you've got a problem, they'll find it. And I haven't even fastened the droppers back on again yet. Just come through there, no problem. I'll take her back. And then bring her back down after the line. Yeah, no problem at all. I've noticed a few don't fill in the spaces where the joints are in a track. Well, all you got to do is use some of your sleepers, cut the shoes off, a bit of glue on, and stick them in there, and it just fills them gaps in. It looks a lot better. You can do it with 2 sleepers, 3 sleepers, depending on your gap. As you can see now, you can't see where my joints are, can you? Walk down there now for the joint up onto those other 2 sidings. I've made my track up ready to fit. I've used some of my old track, as you can see. But when that's dried up there, I can set this track down, and I think we've more or less got it. That's when you know it's just about right, when you can reverse up. And I've got a little short point on there, but with those trucks it went round. Decided to put another siding in down there, so I've still not got round to ballasting. I put that down last night. I put the weights on, of course, because it's all glued down with Copydex. I'll take them off, and I'll just give a local little trial on that track, see if it's all working okay. Well, that seems to be working just fine. Oops, went too far. I'll just try that HST class 125. Sorry, Intercity 125. Send it round again. Yeah, no problems at all. A lot smoother up there. Next job, as I say, we're going to be ballasting and sorting this out. I thought I'd make this into a little pole area and try and put a bit of roading in there, and then maybe have a few coal trucks on there. But it's another spare siding anyway. Right, we'll start on the ballasting. I'm not going to drag it out. I'll just do a little bit and then I'll show you the finished product. This is, I think you've all seen these before. They're ideal for laying your ballast. You just top them up and run them on your track. I'll just show you. You can see that now, yeah. Just keep topping it up as you go along. See what I mean now about with that cork? It doesn't matter because you can disguise, when you put the ballast on, it's disguising it all. Right, I'll just leave it at that a minute. But the other thing is, of course, you can use a brush then or use your finger. I like to just use my finger there on there. And then of course you can use a brush, just do the off the sleepers there. And of course what I do is I spray it with water, with a drop of washing up liquid, a couple of splashes of washing up liquid. I'll just show you, and then that's water, a bit of washing up liquid in. It helps it wettish. Then all you're going to do is put your PVA mixture, which again is 50-50 PVA, 50% water. Again, a drop of washing up liquid, a couple of drops. Run it onto your ballast, and then of course leave it overnight to dry. And then I'm going to paint mine then afterwards. But we'll show that when we've got all this done. As you can see, I've spread most of that ballast down now. I tend to leave the points turnouts, as you see, over the water until later. I use a fine ballast for those. You've got to be a bit careful you don't jam them up. But on the track itself, it's just the Woodland Scenics medium ballast. Right, I'm going to wet it all again now and then put some PVA mixture on. Mix your water with a drop of washing up liquid afterwards. And when it's all dried, you can rub the excess ballast off. That's what I do. See in here, it's about 50% PVA, 50% water. Again, a drop of washing up liquid. Just run it along your track. Let it soak in. Could be a bit thick actually, that. In fact it is. I'm going to water that down a little bit first. It'll be alright. There you go. It's about right now. Just let it soak through. I'll carry on doing this and then I'll show you when it looks a mess, doesn't it? That's why I hate doing ballasting. But once that's dried, and then I can remove the excess off, get a rubber on, and I use a fine knife just to go down the edges of the rails, get the ballast off the rail itself. But we'll see what it's like in another 24 hours. Alright, well, don't do as I've done. My ballasting wasn't quite dry when I started vacuuming up, so I vac some of it up. But I'm going to put that sleeper grime on now, and hopefully it'll cover up them patches. But I can always do a bit of filling in later. This is the product I use. It's Rail Match sleeper grime, and then when I've done and it's all dry, I can use the dark rust then to do the rails. We'll see how it comes out anyway. Right, here goes. As you can see where the cork was showing there, it covers it well, does this. And I say I can always patch up with bits of grass and stuff later. A lot of you have seen me doing this in the past. I keep saying I'm going to buy an air gun and do my own, but the problem with now is aerosols, of course they can't send them through the post, so you're having to pay for sent by carrier, and it can be expensive, and my local shop doesn't sell this stuff. There you go. I'll wait till that dries a bit and then I'll show you what it's not looking too bad. Before it dries, what you want to do is make sure you go over your rails with a cloth, get the heavy off. You can go over the rubber later then, but it's as well just to go over. Well, it's dried out not too badly that now. I'm just trying to put this rust on the track now. And see, I made a sort of, oops, I made a cardboard cutout there to try and cover parts of the rail, sleepers, etc. And I'm just to the track now with this rust. You see, it's going to take me a while, and it's same again when you do a bit before it dries solid. Just go over with a cloth. And of course there's the easier way, using a paintbrush. So as long as I go over the track afterwards, cleaning it. It gives it a bit of effect with that rust on there. I'll take a better look when it's all done. Then you can do what I do here now, where there's a bit too much of that rust on. I've got some plain matte flat black paint, just dust a bit over on you and back all that up yet. And I say it's not properly dry yet, and then I want to add bits of grass in between. But it's not looking too bad now. There's a bit of cosmetic work to do afterwards, isn't there? Touching up here and there. Some bits and pieces where I need touching up a bit. Bits of paint can do that. But they're looking a lot better now, I think. As I say, I'll show you again when I keep saying this, when I've gone a bit further. I sometimes think that maybe as well just leave it sleepers with that rust on. I don't know, I'll see what you think. Right, I've added more grass in between the rails there. As you can see, it's still all wet, so we'll leave this now till tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be dry and we can finish it all off then. But it's a bit cold weather. It's taking 2-3 days to dry, whereas normally 24 hours I'd have all that ballast dry. Anyway, we've got it all done now, more or less. We'll see what it looks like tomorrow when it's all dried out. wanted to ask me what I use for filling in. Well, I use the ordinary grass, but also this underbrush is very good. You get it in different shades, and you just clump it together and put some glue down, and so push it down, and again leave 24 hours. Right, well at last it's more or less all dried up now. I'll put some trains back on, some locos and coaches. As you can see, that's my new bit of siding there, and then of course I've got this one now as a siding, but also can be used for running from the inner track. I'll just show you. This is the inner track, so it can be used from running up there, then going back into the outer track. And I've got myself like 1, 2, 3 sidings there, and of course 2 down at the back there. So I think I'll prove it'll be a lot better now. I'll just run a few trains round, you can see what's being done now.